Squats, something we do all day, every day. Anytime you get up and down from a chair, you're squatting. A lot of times people are told not to squat because it's bad for your knees or your ankles, or you got a back problem, you don't want to squat. And generally that's because either you don't have mobility. We've talked about ankle, knee, hip, back mobility. You can go back and watch those videos. Or you've got lack of stability. You've got a bad disc, you had a knee replacement, and putting that extra stress is not good for it. So you've got to modify how you squat. But not squatting, I don't want that to be the mentality that you have. Maybe we need to modify things, but not squatting is really not an option because you have to get up and down from wherever, unless you're going to sleep standing up like a horse, I guess, and eat in a trough. But we've got lots of modifications we can make. Once we get to working out and what I program for my patients and clients, we usually start with air squats. So air squats, feet about shoulder width apart, and you're just squatting down as far as you can comfortably. I usually let people just do that to see how they look, to kind of check your form and your posture. Are you leaning forward a lot? You know, I'm squatting here. Well, not really, because we're not squatting down. That's more of a hip hinge, which is good, but not the purpose of a squat. Or when I squat, I'm really leaning forward like this. I got a bad back. You ever seen someone who's really pregnant? They go to sit down, they squat, but they do this because they got the baby in the way, and you don't want to squish the baby sitting down. So you have to modify how you do things based on what your limitations are, whether that's a bad knee or a baby. You've got to modify things. So I want to go through a couple of options to help modify squats to get you to do them the right way, in a neutral way, so then you can progressively add load to them working out to work your muscles, work your joints. And when people tell you not to squat and not to let your knees go past your toes when you squat, we're put together that way to allow our knees to go past our toes. But whenever you do that, it does put more stress on your knee. So it's not that it's a bad thing, you just have to train for it, okay? So in general, whenever we go to squat, using some type of support if you need it. So I've got a PVC here. You can use a golf club, a small child. I like to use small children for stability. And you can use that to help lower yourself down and help push yourself up if you need to take some of the pressure off hip, knee, ankle, back, whatever you need to help do that. And then you can grade the amount of pressure that you use to help do that. Usually I'll have people help themselves on the way up and then try and lower down really slow, not using that. Keep it there for balance and support if you need it, but typically we're stronger in that lowering phase than the producing force to get up phase against gravity. Make sense? So you can use something like that, or if you've got a TRX, a strap, I have people grab around a doorway or the inside of a sink, as long as you've got a good grip there. Something you can kind of lean back against and lower down to work on that motion. So you've got your hands that are providing a lot of the support. So I don't have a whole lot of pressure on my knees and ankles, and I can grade that. If I've got a patient who's had a knee replacement or an ankle surgery, coming back and letting myself back like this, like I've got a lot of weight in my hands. If I let go with my hands, I'm going to fall backwards. I don't have enough to keep myself up. But by doing that, if we look, I've got all my weight back here, so I don't have a whole lot of pressure in my knee and my ankle. If my ankle's not moving very well, normally when we squat, those knees come forward a little bit. That increases the amount of motion in the ankle. I don't have that right now, which allows me to get down farther and work through a range of motion that may be painful, may have some weakness, difficulty producing all that force. So a couple different options to help get you into a squat position. Something easy to do at home, just regular air squats that you're doing, holding on to that, holding on the back of a chair. And I tell people to do their squats in front of a couch or a chair, and excuse me if it's a little too much for people, but I tell people to put your crack in the crack. So imagine putting your behind all the way back into the crack of the chair, the couch, or whatever. So you've got that visual of really sitting back as you come down. So you're really far back here, and then you're shifting your weight to come up, really pushing back. And again, my knees aren't going forward. I'm using more of those bigger muscles, my glutes, your butt muscles, your hamstrings, your quads, your thigh muscles. Those are big muscles to produce force, and that's what helps take some of the pressure off the knees. Not that I'm opposed to the knees going forward, but I want those bigger muscles to work. That's what's going to give you the strength and power to then develop other stuff whenever we start doing single leg exercises and lunges and single leg squats, step ups, things like that that require a lot more power. That is all the beginning of a squat. So start small, squat, come up, squat down as far as you can comfortably. Start off with in front of something. So if you happen to lose your balance, you're sitting there, not on the floor. And then as you get comfortable, you work on getting down farther and farther and farther until you can get all the way down to the bottom of a squat. And now I've got kind of maximal knee, hip, ankle motion to get all the way down here. If I don't have that, that's what we've worked on with all the mobility stuff. But getting down there takes time in grading that position. A couple of quick things, let you try. Let me know if you got any questions, what else you want to see. Thanks, y'all.